Now we're almost at the end of our Twine journey through this workshop, but I'd like to go over a few things. First off, you'll see I only have these 4 little passages here, but like I said earlier, Twine stories can get insanely big. So how would you navigate through that? If you wanted to move around this Twine space and get a better feel of how to navigate, hold the space key and left click and drag, and you'll be able to drag around your story. Now, right now, it doesn't really look like I'm doing much. There's not really much to look around to. However, if I switch to another one of my projects, which I can do by going to the bottom left and pressing the little home button that looks like a house, I can just see a list of some of my other projects. And for example, you'll see this monstrosity of a project, and you'll notice that now this actually might be a good way of looking around by holding space and left click. You can also make it bigger or smaller in terms of how much you're zooming in or out by going to the bottom over here, and you'll see these little buttons allow you to zoom in or zoom out. I can see when I zoom in, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of distance I can cover. But I'm going to zoom out because it's huge. Additionally, if you go down to the bottom left and press the name of your project, you'll get a menu. Now, there's a lot of complicated things that these things can do, which I'm not going to get into because that would take a while. Though I do recommend you look some of it up, especially change story format, which I'm not going to explain right now, but I recommend looking it up because it makes your story look cool. And I just want to go over one thing which is super important, which is how do I export my game? How can I share it with the world? Well, to do that, you're going to go over to the bottom option called Publish to File. Once you press it, it'll allow you to save your project somewhere, and then when you're ready, you can press save, and it will export your game project as an HTML file. If you're not aware of what an HTML file is, it is basically a web page. Your game will be playable as a web page on a web browser, such as Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Google Chrome. Any browser will be able to play your game. And if you know how to put it on a website, either your own website or a website such as itch.io, you can share it with the world. Now, this is extremely important if you are somebody who is using the web version of Twine. The online web version of Twine will save your project. However, let's say you're using a school computer or somebody else's computer. A lot of the time, people clear their browser files to speed up their browser. Additionally, this happens a lot in school and library computers. They do this automatically very, very frequently. In that case, you might lose your game, and you don't really want that. So if you are using the online version of Twine, it is especially recommended that at the end of the day, once you're finished with your project, you go here, you publish the file, and you save a copy of that file somewhere. Now, let's say you're using this on somebody else's computer, and now you like Twine, and this is great, and you want to continue doing this at home. There's an easy way to continue the work that you started. First, you're going to go over here and publish the file and make sure that you have saved the file for your game. Now we're going to press the home button so that we can get back to the home screen. Now imagine you saved your project somewhere, and now you're opening Twine again on another computer, or even the same computer, or just a computer somewhere else. Get the file that you saved earlier by publish to file, either by emailing it to yourself, or getting it on a USB, or just some way of getting it onto this new computer. Now, ignoring all the stuff that I have here, I want you to look over to the right of the home screen, and right underneath the green plus story button, you'll see something that says import from file. And you're going to press that. And what's going to happen is it's going to say
it doesn't
import from
save
file,
it.
And you're going to see an
save
option
it
that
via
says
browser.
choose file.
So
now you're going to press this,
it doesn't
and
save
it will
it
give
via
you a prompt
browser,
to
so
look
it's
for
more
a file
secure.
on your computer. You're going to go find where you saved that file you just published a file, and load it here. Once you've loaded it, it will show up over here, and you can continue your project. Again, if you are on a school or a library computer, this is super important because you want to make sure you don't lose your work. If you're using the application version of Twine, there's less to worry about because the application automatically saves everything. And the application version doesn't save things with a browser, so it's more secure. One small little secret is that sometimes Twine does glitch out if it senses 2 stories with the exact same story name inside of the file. If it senses 2 projects with the same project name, it starts going a bit loopy. So I recommend that if you think you're going to be doing this a lot, At the bottom left where your story's name is, make sure you press rename story and rename the story to put maybe an extra number or date beside it. And that way it'll help you keep track and also prevent Twine from glitching. Now we only covered the basics of Twine, but already you've learned how to do some code, make some interactive choices, change your text, as well as add images to your project. And you can make some very complex and really cool Twine stories. They can be as simple as what we have worked on here, or something way bigger. And they can have so many levels of complexity that goes beyond just a few passages. And now with what you've learned today, you can jump into a whole bunch of tutorials online so you can be even better at this. With the fundamentals you learned today, you'll be able to learn even more about Twine, and I am excited to see what you make out of it. I hope you enjoyed this workshop. I hope that you will become interested in Twine and seeing its potential, and I want you to have the confidence to unleash that story in your soul and make a magnificent game out of it. Good luck, take care, stay safe, and happy twining.